The Galactic Academy's lecture hall buzzed with nervous energy as Professor Krenix's assistant wheeled in the containment unit. Avari kept her expression neutral, though she noticed how her classmates, a mix of Tharoon herbivores, crystalline chrysalids, and gas-breathing Aetheron, instinctively shifted away from the center aisle. Only she and Darius Holt remained in their front row seats, curiosity overriding caution. "Today, we study predator psychology," Professor Krenix announced, his translator rendering his chittering speech into standard galactic. The insectoid academic's compound eyes gleamed with academic fervor. "Behold, a juvenile Dravari hunter, barely 3 cycles old." The containment field shimmered and died. What emerged made half the class flee toward the exits. The creature stood nearly 2 meters tall despite being a hatchling, its obsidian scales rippling with bioluminescent patterns that spelled death in a dozen galactic languages. 6 limbs ended in razor talons, while its elongated skull housed rows of serrated teeth designed for tearing through starship hulls. Twin tails lashed behind it, each tip crackling with bioelectric discharge. Darius leaned forward, fascinated. "Magnificent," he whispered. Chan nodded, making notes on her data pad. "Look at those muscle groups." The redundant limb system suggested evolved in variable gravity environments. The Dravari hatchling's head swiveled toward them, nostrils flaring. His eyes, 4 of them, arranged in a diamond pattern, fixed on the 2 humans. The classroom fell silent except for the soft whimpering from the back rows. Professor Krenix's mandibles clicked nervously. "Now observe how even a juvenile predator establishes dominance through." The creature moved not toward the cowering herbivores or the retreating gas bags, but directly toward Chan and Darius. Each step was deliberate, predatory grace incarnate. Students screamed. Someone triggered the emergency alarm, but instead of attacking, the Dravari hatchling settled beside Chan's chair with a sound like distant thunder. Its massive head tilted, studying her with those for alien eyes. One clawed hand, no, paw, extended toward her, moving with surprising gentleness. Chan looked at Darius, who shrugged. "When in Rome," he murmured. She reached out and touched the offered appendage. The scales were warm, almost fever-hot, and she could feel the creature's triple heartbeat through its hide. The Dravari made a sound deep in its throat, not a growl, but something almost purring. "Impossible," breathed Professor Krenix. "Dravari are apex predators. They don't form social bonds with prey species." "Maybe," Darius said, his voice carrying across the now silent hall. "You don't understand what predators actually are." The hatchling's attention shifted to him. Darius extended his hand slowly, and the creature sniffed his fingers before allowing contact. Its bioluminescent pattern shifted from threatening reds to curious blues and greens. Chan felt the weight of dozens of alien eyes upon them. "Professor," she called out, "what do you know about human evolutionary history? Humans, you're omnivores, prey animals that develop tool use." "Actually," Darius said, scratching behind what might have been the Dravari's equivalent. Earning another rumbling purr, "We're persistence hunters. We ran our prey to exhaustion across the African savanna. But more than that, we're pack hunters, cooperative predators." The hatchling's tail curled around Chan's chair leg, in what could only be described as affectionate. She continued the lesson the professor had abandoned. "Every predator species in the galaxy seems to be solitary, but humans, we hunt in groups. We share kills. We protect each other's young. That's why," Darius added, standing slowly as the Dravari hatchling rose with him, "this little one recognizes us. We smell like family." The creature's 4 eyes fixed on a Tharoon student who had crept back toward his seat, and its posture shifted subtly, not aggressive, but alert, protective. It had positioned itself between the approaching herbivore and the 2 humans. Professor Krenix's translator crackled as he struggled for words. "But the genetic divergence, the evolutionary impossibility." "Evolution doesn't care about impossibility," Chan said, gently stroking the hatchling's flank. "It cares about survival. And sometimes, Professor, the best way to survive is to recognize your own kind." The Dravari young made that purring sound again, deeper now, and its bioluminescent pattern shifted to match the warm gold of Chan's skin tone and the deep brown of Darius's eyes. A chameleon display of kinship. In our mythology, Darius explained to the stunned class, dragons were terrible, destructive beasts, but they were also wise, noble creatures that could be befriended by those brave enough to try. Chan smiled as the hatchling nuzzled her shoulder with enough force to knock over a small tree. "Maybe the galaxy's problem isn't that it has too many predators," she said. "Maybe it's that it doesn't have enough friends." The creature's response was to sprawl across both their desks like an oversized cat, radiating contentment. Its bioelectric tails wrapped loosely around their wrists, not restraining, but connecting. A gesture of trust from a species the galaxy had deemed irredeemably violent. Professor Krennic slowly approached, his earlier academic confidence replaced by wonder. In 300 years of xenobiology, he whispered, "We've never seen anything like this." "That's because," Chan said, sharing a knowing look with Darius as the Dravari hatchling began what could only be described as a nap between them. "You've never met humans before. We specialize in making friends with monsters." The hatchling's purr deepened, a sound of perfect peace that filled the lecture hall with its impossible warmth. Outside, the galaxy continued its ancient dance of predator and prey, hunter and hunted. But in that classroom, something new had been born. The recognition that sometimes the most dangerous predator of all was loneliness itself, and humans, as always, had found a way to hunt it down.